moments away from game number 3 for the introduction of the starting lineup. Let's go to the public address and Rich Zolzer.
Yellow forward, 6'9", finished second year out of Cincinnati. Number 6, Kenyon tonight in this big game. Ultimately, Kid said the next
Try to rally back. The officials, Dick Pavetta, Bob Delaney, Dan Crawford. Kenyon Martin wants them to keep going as they have been heard here at the start. Todd McCullough and Shaquille O'Neal on the opening tip, controlled by the Nets during the season and during most of the postseason.
But Marv, if you're buying this guy, you got to bet that the percentages are in your favor.
Kenyon Martin hit their first 4 shots. Martin looking to put the move on Horry. Kenyon Martin working on Robert Horry. And Kenyon Martin coming off a very quiet ball game has hit his first 2 of 3 from the field.
Kobe can shut down whoever he wants to.
And the Lakers swinging the ball effectively. Turned back by Martin. Good play by Kenyon Martin.
We have seen such little good play from Martin and Van Horn. It's amazing the Nets have been even this close. What's the score, Bill? Rebounds and 2 block shots. Moving effortlessly on the offensive. I'm not sure what Kenyon Martin is doing. Here's a guy that should be owning the defensive backboards. Here's a guy who is the #1 overall draft pick in the NBA now in his 2nd year. This guy has not had the type of performance you need for the leadership in terms of showing his teammates how he is going to control this series.
And a sarcastic reaction.
But it's not as if anyone has had any success here.
And Martin is hit by no offensive foul. It's a charge assessed on Kenyon Martin.
Martin had made up his mind he was going to come right through Robert Horry. He gets there and he goes right into the chest, and the crowd responds in Martin's favor. A big chorus of blues.
The referee
able to handle himself pretty well. It's a 15-1 run by the Lakers. Shot clock down to 3. Martin, Kenyon Martin with his third field goal of 6 points. Lakers 28. To change his mind, finds some Martin Walker just came on and he was rejected. Kenyon Martin playing with more confidence here tonight. 23, Shaquille O'Neal, the high man with 11. You're watching the NBA Finals.
On the recap.
Lakers 4th. That's 1 for 7 here in the 2nd quarter. Martin takes it to the rim. Now that's what Byron's got fouled. It's on Devin George. Martin was hoping to make contact with Shaquille O'Neal.
They've got to do something to try to get the Lakers. And this forward combination of Martin and Van Horn is starting to make last year's disaster from Jermaine Jones and Tyrone Hill look like a bunch of Hall of Famers.
Well, Kenyon Martin has had a solid first half, though.
What about 12 points?
Kenyon Martin is not the reason.
We saw with one player playing well, you can take the Lakers to the wire.
This first half.
Nice pass.
Rejected emphatically by Martin. And George
Ball is just hanging up there.
Still on the way off.
shot for Shaq. Brown wanted a foul on O'Neal as he made contact with Kidd. And then away from the ball, we get a call on Horry. Nets go to pressure. Oh, the steal by Martin. Van Horn for 3. Neal.
The crowd has come alive here behind some fine defensive play. Kenyon Martin gets it going in a terrific ball movement. Kerry Kittles trying to get Keith Van Horn going.
Two free throws now. McCullough with possession. His second. And that's 14 foul.
Let's take a look at Todd's feet out of the picture here. Good upper body movement.
Move his big feet because Shaq has big feet too.
And again a foul, a reach in.
But the inability to guard perimeter players and the inability to slow Shaq down has just led to
One field goal and we haven't seen him.
Oh, Martin is fouled. A horse foul by Rick Fox.
Well, Rick Fox never gets involved in confrontations like this without good reason.
We'll get a look at the play, and you'll see that the hit,
The bottom of your screen. Bottom of your screen. He just runs him right over, throws him down. The referee standing right there at the bottom of the screen, does nothing about it, and calls a...
Would you call that a throwdown? It wasn't like he really popped. Come on.
and now the next possession off the play.
Down, big man. Throw it down.
Martin.
You get players that are in desperate straits looking for everything, and on a good offensive rebound effort,
You're not going to win if you cannot contain for
Beautiful pass. Thrown by Martin on the hop to Kidd.
into this game. They're going to need a lot more plays like this, taking advantage of Shaq not being in the basket area there with Kenyon Martin. That should have been a foul right there called on Kenyon Martin, but that led to Richard Jefferson's ability to go underneath.
On the half. Martin for three. Well, the Nets are here. Shaquille O'Neal with 21. He also has 6 rebounds. Kobe Bryant games. The Verizon Wireless at the half with Bob Costas and Tom Bell in the first half finished at 46%. Here's Kenyon Martin. Martin on the follow. Kenyon Martin continues his outstanding play. Now has 13 points.
The Lakers are going to play through a lot tonight.
Martin going at Orange. O'Neal. Martin thought he had a potential block timed, did not. Nice backdoor pass, and Van Horn
figure out a way to do something about the offensive rebounding of the Lakers. You know, you got 3 guys around Shaq, and he's
Defenders arms back. Todd McCullough's offensive strategy seriously flawed.
Fox puts the move on Martin, lost his balance. Fox lost it. He's back to the Shaquille O'Neal that we saw a year ago.
He's made the commitment Mark to play through that paint. And it's right there, a careless turnover for New Jersey, but with
McCullough says his bad. Everybody saw that.
Oh, McCullough called for the foul, a hard hit.
Decisive about where he wanted to go with the ball, and then trying to come back, gets a piece of Bryant. So again,
Told they just changed that last foul from McCullough to Martin. So McCullough has 3. Here is the foul. Throw it down, Kenyon. Throw it down one time.
a lot more of these before you start celebrating like Kenyon Martin, but that's an aggressive drive as Ori has had a tough time playing in this ball game tonight.
one of the few breakdowns mentally that you'll find from Robert Horry. He should never leave Kenyon Martin. He should never go to help. Shaq is doing all the help. So Shaq does not have to guard any of the centers for New Jersey.
They want to pass.
The champions have brought the big hammer in the second half.
Lakers now 7 of 11 from downtown. Martin is tripped by Horn. 98 making that remarkable turn on his last touch. It's a 10-point Laker lead, and a foul is called on Slubber than before. And Horn putting the move on Fox. Oh, Kenyon Martin trying to put it down, but it's offensive interference and grabbing the rim.
Dial a violation, Kenyon. The quick jump hook, outstanding execution there, but with Kenyon Martin hanging on the rim, that is a clear violation.
Well, the rating changes as the play goes.
Bryant thought he was fouled. Here's Van Horn for 3.
Defense is going to react.
O'Neal had it knocked away by Martin. And Dan Crawford looking for help from the outside. Fisher. And he is fouled by Martin, who was looking for a jump ball.
Derek Fisher realized he was up against the shot clock.
That is what has gotten New Jersey in trouble, not being able to keep that guy under control.
And it's a good stuff defensively. Martin off the recovery. Goes at Shaq. We discussed earlier. Martin. This game is tied at 78. Martin foul. With 8 unanswered points. Tied at 78.
Well, I guess the next took your advice They have finally gotten
their offense by himself.
Yeah, but they got to keep it going at this end of the floor. They got to keep scoring the ball because we know the Lakers will wake up.
Martin with a nice move on
Tried to wait, but this is good patience by Kenyon Martin. One fake, and he got Ori coming to him, went up, and now a chance for
that role. But we have seen signs of life from Kenyon Martin tonight.
Well, 22 points for Martin. The Nets have hit 12 of the last 13 shots.
The way to beat the Lakers on offense is right now New Jersey playing some offense. And Kenyon Martin showing why at one point he was the #1 pick in this entire league.
One of the attack here in the second half.
After Aaron Williams fouled out.
You see that they're not controlling Jason Kidd, and the results are Kenyon Martin, Jefferson above the rim. Their athletic ability on display as they're in full flight. This is all the rest of the way.
Shot clock down at 2. Short. Paul. No, it's out of the other.
Bill Jackson yelling at the bench. Then he comes with Samaki Walker. What has Derek Fisher done wrong?
And now in the penalty, Devin Short.
And Horn back out on the floor to finish.
Martin with a nice move on Ori. Good play by George to knock it aside. And for the Nets, he's hit 7 of 8 from the field. He has 9 assists in all. Here's Kenyon Martin working on Robert Ori. Rebounded by Shaquille O'Neal. Bryant playing on a switch by Martin. Shot clock down to 1. Bryant, yes.
Continue to keep offensive pressure on them. Watch the defense of Kenyon Martin. Watch where his hand goes as Kobe lets this go. Right in his face. Watch the hand.
Just a moment ago, during the timeout, we'll listen in on Kobe Bryant and his teammates. And a big shot here by Kobe with 1 on the shot clock. Corner, a 13-2 run by the Lakers has provided a 4-point lead. Here's Kidd. Yes.
You ought to consider fouling if he's still out there, Devin George, but I think he's down.
They didn't realize they had the foul again. Kidd gets it off. And the Lakers.
They had their moment.
That's a real lucky break for Los Angeles.
Jason Kidd leads the way for the Nets, 30 points, 10 assists, 36 points and assists, and Kenyon Martin with 26 points. But the Lakers defeat the Nets, and they're up 3-0.